From our Chicago studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Samana Siddiqui. Our top story tonight. Google, which is facing antitrust proceedings in a Washington court, is refusing public access to the hearings. The company's counsel opposed a motion to allow public access to an audio broadcast of the trial through platforms such as Zoom. It is citing administrative challenges and concerns about sensitive information. Groups behind the transparency motion clarified they only want the audio broadcast of the unsealed public portions of the trial to be made public. Judge Amit Mehta has not yet ruled on whether to allow the audio broadcast. The antitrust case against Google was brought by the U.S. Justice Department and the attorneys general of 11 states. They accuse the tech giant of maintaining monopolies in the markets for search queries and advertising. Google's parent company, Alphabet, has a market capitalization of more than $1 trillion and faces accusations of abusing its power to suppress competitors. The main allegation is Google's overall business practices violate antitrust law. According to the Justice Department, Google controls around 88% of the U.S. search market. Google CEO Sundar Pichai is expected to testify during the trial. The U.S. and Indonesia have committed to strengthening their bilateral relationship with a focus on economic growth, defense, and maritime issues. Indonesian President Joko Widodo and U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris met in the Indonesian capital Jakarta on Thursday. They announced a roadmap for a comprehensive strategic partnership. Harris praised Indonesia's successful ASEAN chairmanship and stressed the importance of the Indo-Pacific region for future U.S. efforts. Both leaders spoke about the importance of upholding international law and freedom of the waters in the South China Sea, an indirect reference to China's actions there. The leaders discussed ways to expand economic cooperation, including the implementation of the $20 billion Just Energy Transition Partnership. The partnership aims to mobilize public and private financing to support Indonesia's energy transition. Both leaders also expressed concern about the coup in Burma and underscored their determination to support the country's return to a democratic transition. Harris acknowledged Southeast Asia's potential for U.S. foreign policy. She also underscored the strategic importance of the region, with 2/3 of the population under age 35 and being a significant market for U.S. exports. This was her third visit to Southeast Asia, underscoring her commitment to building relationships in the region. 6 Republican and nonpartisan voters in Colorado have filed a lawsuit to bar former President Donald Trump from running in the 2024 Republican primary. The lawsuit was filed by Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington and 3 law firms. It argues that Trump is ineligible for office under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. That provision prohibits anyone who has participated in insurrection or rebellion from holding civil or military office. Plaintiffs include former Colorado House and Senate Majority Leader Norma Anderson and former Republican Congresswoman Claudine Schneider. They claim Trump knowingly and willingly aided and abetted the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. They also say Trump's repeated false claims that the 2020 election was stolen is evidence of his involvement in the attack. The lawsuit is the latest legal challenge to Trump's eligibility to run for office. In recent months, several groups in other states have filed similar lawsuits seeking to bar Trump from holding office. Trump's campaign has dismissed the lawsuits, calling them absurd conspiracy theories and political attacks. The United States government is investigating Chinese company Huawei's new smartphone that has a custom-built 5G chip. Huawei's new phone has shocked industry experts. They are puzzled over how the Chinese company has the technology to produce such a chip after U.S. restrictions on China's access to foreign chip technology. In related news, China has reportedly banned the use of iPhones for central government officials, citing a threat to national security. This led to a more than 3% drop in Apple shares on the global market. The ban could be retaliation for similar measures taken by the U.S. against Chinese tech companies. The ban is likely to have a significant impact on Apple's business in China. The iPhone is one of the company's most popular products in the country. A UN Human Rights Office report released Tuesday highlights how people of African descent continue to face significant challenges due to systemic racism. This racism, often rooted in the histories of enslavement and colonialism, impedes their meaningful participation in public affairs across various countries. The report identified persistent incidents where individuals of African descent suffered fatalities during or after encounters with law enforcement. Despite long-standing efforts by affected families, minimal progress has been made in addressing impunity. UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Volker Turk emphasized the need for countries to ensure the active, inclusive, and safe involvement of people of African descent in public affairs. He says their needs, experiences, and expertise should be integral to policymaking, implementation, and evaluation. Turk is calling on nations to adopt comprehensive, evidence-based strategies to address and eradicate structural racism, especially in law enforcement. The report will be presented to the UN Human Rights Council on October 5th. The Muslim community in Belgium has spoken out against newly introduced sex education methods in schools. A statement posted on social media by various Muslim organizations says the decision calls into question the universal and inviolable values of family education. Under the controversial EVRAS program, teams of experts are to visit schools and teach students about sexual, affective, and biological education through animations. This project, to be ratified by Parliament, aims to reach 85,000 students in the French-speaking region of Wallonia and another 25,000 in Brussels. Muslim groups have expressed serious reservations and say the EVRAS program could undermine religious freedom and the right of parents to raise their children according to their personal beliefs. The statement appealed to authorities to address their concerns and also pointed out that the program violates children's rights. The statement was supported by 7 prominent associations, including the Diyanet Foundation, the Islamic Federation of Belgium, and the Federation of Albanian Mosques in Belgium. Experts are calling on Germany to enact strict laws against extremist acts directed at Muslims. They say Islamophobia is a major problem in the country. A recent study suggests about 1/3 of Muslims in Germany have been subjected to religious hostility. Germany's Muslim community fears far-right activists may engage in burning the Quran, similar to those in Sweden and Denmark. Karen Taylor is chair of the European Network Against Racism. She expressed concern about the potential for violence and social unrest if such events were to occur in Germany. Taylor called burning the Quran an act of aggression and hatred which society must collectively oppose. Germany, home to nearly 5 million Muslims, has the second largest Muslim population in Western Europe after France. The latest data show more than 250 anti-Muslim crimes in the first half of the year, with more than a dozen mosques attacked. Most of these crimes occurred in eastern Germany, a stronghold of far-right parties. Notable incidents were also reported in major cities such as Berlin, Frankfurt, and Munich. Only an estimated 10% of victims report such incidents. Taylor stressed the importance of accurate data collection to address the issue. Summer 2023, the hottest on record. Details after the break, so stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. The European Union's Climate Agency reports the global average temperature reached more than 62 degrees Fahrenheit in June, July, and August, surpassing a 2019 record. Climate scientists have been sounding the alarm about rapidly spreading wildfires, deadly heat waves, and broken heat records in the Northern Hemisphere. This heat wave was primarily attributed to ongoing human emissions of heat-trapping gases. It was also made worse by El Niño, a warming of the ocean surface or above-average sea surface temperatures in the central and eastern tropical Pacific Ocean. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres emphasized the consequences of the world's continued dependence on fossil fuels. Scientists have linked the extreme heat in North America and Europe to planetary warming and the climate crisis. Climate experts have also noted the climate emergency made hot, dry conditions more likely in eastern Canada, leading to a rapid spread of wildfires this summer. The prospect of El Niño intensifying next summer raises fears of even worse heat waves and wildfires. Scientists stress urgent reductions in carbon emissions are essential to reducing the impacts. Pakistani troops repelled a cross-border raid by hundreds of Pakistani Taliban militants on Wednesday. The attack took place in the Bamburit area of Chitral district, about 125 miles northwest of the capital, Islamabad. 4 Pakistani troops and 12 militants were killed in the clash. In a statement, the Pakistan military's public relations wing said a large group of terrorists equipped with latest weapons attacked 2 outposts in the area. The Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, or TTP, have claimed to seize 2 military posts in the area, but this has not been confirmed by the Pakistani military. Security forces have sealed entry to Chitral, and reinforcements have been rushed to the district. The TTP has been waging an insurgency against the Pakistani government for over a decade, and the latest attack is a reminder of the threat the group still poses. Experts say the return to power of the Taliban in Afghanistan has given the TTP a new lease of life, and the group is now more active than ever. Burma's junta government has promised to build 20 new villages to ease the return of Rohingya Muslims from Bangladesh. The country's Union Minister Koko Hlang announced plans to repatriate 7,000 Rohingya soon. He also mentioned support from China and other international organizations to build more houses. More than 1 million Rohingya live in refugee camps in Bangladesh. They fled Burma after a military genocide of the Muslim minority in August 2017. Many Rohingya in the camps believe the repatriation plan is nothing more than a transfer between camps with no real opportunities for their community. They want guarantees of citizenship, access to education, freedom of movement, and resettlement rights before considering return. Previous efforts in 2018 and 2019 to repatriate Rohingya failed because these guarantees were lacking. The United Nations has also indicated conditions in Rakhine State are not conducive to Rohingya return in the near future. Israel experienced a 60% drop in foreign direct investment in the first quarter of 2023 compared to quarterly averages in recent years. That amounts to $2.6 billion, in sharp contrast to the total of more than $29 billion in 2022. Historically, the United States and United Kingdom have been Israel's top investors. The U.S. accounted for 72% and the UK 8% of foreign investments in 2022. More than half of those were in IT and business software. The average value of high-tech exits in Israel has also declined, falling 80% to $56 million in the first quarter of 2023 from $307 million in previous years. Local and global uncertainties are a major cause of the decline in foreign direct investment in Israel. The country has experienced unprecedented political and social turmoil, primarily due to a government-proposed overhaul of the judiciary. This has led to widespread protests and concern among economists about the potential adverse effects on the economy. The Russian city of Kazan, capital of the southwestern province of Tatarstan, is hosting the International Festival of Muslim Cinema. The event began Tuesday and ends Saturday. The festival serves as an exchange of experiences between filmmakers from Muslim countries and Russia. This year, the 19th festival received more than 700 applications from 44 countries. Over 50 films from 21 countries were nominated for awards in various categories. Organizers say the festival has become a platform for promoting dialogue between countries and artists. It was founded in 2005 by the Council of Muftis of Russia, the Federal Agency for Culture and Cinematography of Russia, and the Ministry of Culture of the Republic of Tatarstan. That's all from our Chicago studios tonight. Thank you for tuning in. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for the latest updates. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV or visit muslimnetwork.tv. Salam and good night.